Hi, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast All Day. Christy, Matt, Alonso, the 80, 90...
92nd. No, 93rd.
Third.
111st. Because somebody on one of the Oscar website pages didn't change 92 ST and they made it 93.
92nd.
Anyway, it's been around for a while.
Anyway.
These are the Oscars.
The Oscars are happening this weekend. I guess we have thoughts.
So it's interesting how even in a truncated award season like we have now, I mean, February 9th is super early for the Oscars, that there's still been an evolution. But also there's been an evolution as to what the perceived frontrunner is. Because for a while there, it appeared to be this race between The Irishman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And now, neither of those will probably win. I mean, 1917 has kind of come from behind and picked up all of those Guild wins and those Golden Globe wins that are the natural precursors to Oscar night. So, Sam Mendes won at the DGAs, and that's an excellent predictor.
Although Parasite won a whole bunch of Guild Awards as well, which is quite
unprecedented. At SAG, it won its Best Ensemble.
Right, but also, I think the editors, and there were, it won quite a few of these going in, which is unheard of for a foreign language film.
And that'd be incredible. If that won, that'd be incredible, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No. Yeah, the Vegas odds makers have, pretty much everything in all the front runners are all 1 to 4.
It's a toss-up.
I would be shocked if there are any surprises. They seem to have it all locked down.
I kind of think that Parasite will end up just the way it seems like voters often vote, is that because it's nominated for both foreign language film and Best Picture, it'll get foreign language film. Yeah. And I think the same thing might happen with Honeyland. I think Honeyland's going to end up getting Best Documentary
by virtue of
I think.
I would love that, but I think American Factory is probably your favorite at this point, which was our LA Film Critics pick.
I would vote for Honeyland for both because it's amazing. And it's a perfect film.
I'm so glad you watched it.
And as I had said when we reviewed it previously, Honeyland is an example of why film as an art form can be so effective and why documentary as a form can be so moving and effective. It's perfect. It's one of the shining examples of the documentary form.
It's gorgeous and it's eye-opening, but all the docs are great. So we won't bother you with every nominee in every category, but I think probably So 1917 is the odds-on favorite to win Best Picture, correct?
I think that's also got to be a lock for
director Mendes.
No, for cinematography.
Oh, who shot that movie?
Some dude.
Scrappy up-and-comer Roger Deakins.
Some guy named Raj.
You know what? Give him all those awards to make up for all those years that he was nominated and did not win. But also, I mean, it's funny because I've talked to various photographers and cinematographers about this very category, picking their brains about it. Ben Kasulki, who was on the a la carte this week, says he thinks that 1917 will win because people who do this for a living know how hard this was to pull off. And so for that reason, from a technical perspective, they recognize what a massive achievement is. And so while other films are gorgeous in their own ways, this was the biggest accomplishment.
I'm going to be Ben. I have...
You're not going to show up or have seen anything?
You're here. You can't. You're here. You can't be.
No,
you responded to an email.
I have the odds. 1917 is 2 to 3.
Okay.
Parasite is behind it at 4 to 1.
Okay.
Mendes is 1 to 2 for Best Director, with Bong Joon-ho behind him at 4 to 1. Scorsese at 70 to 1.
Interesting.
Ford v. Ferrari at 200 to 1 for Best Picture, by the way. Best Actor, Joaquin Phoenix is 1 and 8.
Yeah.
Adam Driver behind him 15 to 1. Best Actress, Renee Zellweger is 1 to 6. Scarlett Johansson behind her at 14 to 1. Best Supporting Actor, Brad Pitt 1 to 9. Joe Pesci behind him at 20 to 1. Anthony Hopkins 125 to 1. Laura Dern 1 to 5 for Supporting Actress, with Margot Robbie 15 to 1 behind her. Best Song, I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocketman at 1 to 7, with Into the Unknown at 19 to 1.
So all of those acting awards have been kind of set in stone for a while now, I would suspect. I think we would all enjoy an upset, some kind of surprise of some sort.
Sure.
I'm seeing some rumblings on film Twitter about the possibility of Scarlett Johansson playing spoiler in the supporting actress category for Jojo Rabbit. I doubt it.
Well, of the people who have been nominated simultaneously as actress and supporting actress, Teresa Wright won, and Jessica Lange won, and then both in supporting. I think Sigourney won neither the year of Gorillas in the Mist and Working Girl. And then Holly Hunter won Best Actress.
For Broadcast News?
No, for The Piano, the same year as The Firm.
Not for Raising Arizona?
Sadly, no.
And then Baby High.
And then I don't
need a Baby High.
My finance ran off with a cosmetology student.
My seed could find no purchase.
Her insides were a rocky place where my seed could find no purchase.
I want to go watch that right now.
That's our recommendation for Raising Arizona. Thanks, everybody.
That's our February review for you guys on Patreon.
Well, we should do that.
It would be nice to see, just because I think when the Oscars are this literally predictable, then they just aren't as fun.
Right. And there's no host this year. We are hostless again, which is fine.
Whatever.
It worked out fine last time. And I guess if Taron Egerton is going to win anything for all those brunches he attended and all those hands he shook, why not make it original song? Any other categories you guys are looking forward to particularly? Costume design, makeup?
Meh.
I mean, I'm just sort of professionally jaded about the Oscars at this point.
And yet you know so much. You're very knowledgeable.
That's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the year. This is like one of the first years I've really just not been all that interested in.
No? How come?
I don't know. I think partly because the nominations came out and I was like,
Like of the movies that I love, I like Little Women and Pain and Glory got some nice nominations, and they're probably not going to win anything. I would love to see Parasite get something. I mean, like
it'll get now. They're calling it international film. They're not calling it foreign language anymore.
So
it'll win that. It'll win that for sure. And
it's so weird that they only let one movie from
each country.
That's so weird.
Do we think that what are people looking at for original screenplay? Parasite,
Jojo Rabbit is favored. I'm sorry. Parasite. Parasite is supposed to win.
But Once Upon a Time is nominated, though.
It is, but I think that's not what's favored. I think Parasite's favored and Jojo Rabbit is favored, although I would love to see Little Women win adapted and see Marriage Story win original. And then you get Noah and Greta both winning their Oscars that night. Won't that be nice?
Yes.
I think Little Women, according to our good friend Glenn Whipp, did a whole Oscar preview today in the LA Times. He says that Little Women is favored in costume design, which would be nice because those clothes are germane, if you'd like, to telling the story of who these characters are and how they evolve. Amy especially.
Yeah, the thing I always think about though is I've heard some costumers talk about it's actually sometimes more difficult to do costumes for something like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because people still have those clothes. There are people alive who know how people dressed. And so if you're doing costuming for, say, the 80s or even 90s, that's really difficult because you have to hit a level of reality that you wouldn't have to do with something set during the Civil War.
Although at the same time, I think what's always grossly underappreciated, and it would be lovely if because I think when the Costumers Guild does this, they do a contemporary and a period and the fantasy categories. I think something like Marriage Story, that costumer is working overtime to do things and show you things and tell things about the character, and we just ignore it because that's
it's just clothes.
It's part of the story.
Exactly. It's so organic that we just assume they just showed up at the set. They wearing that one day, whereas corsets, that's work.
To go back to another Coen Brothers reference, if you are the dude, if you are playing the dude, you kind of just show up in your own clothes, and that's okay.
But that's why it was so cool last year when Black Panther won for costume design because that's such a bold choice. They usually do pick a period piece.
Yeah. Sadly, Ruth Gardner not nominated this year for her period piece, Dolomite Is My Name.
Which again, the clothes are so important to telling that story. Yeah. That should have gotten something. Yeah. They got nothing. That's a bummer. Yeah. So where will you guys be watching on Sunday night? What are your plans?
My couch. I might live tweet. I might not. I don't know.
I don't know how not to.
Yeah.
Not live tweet. Yeah, it is hard.
What about you, Matt?
Take your phone away.
I've been really hooked on this is 10 years behind, but I've been really hooked on this video game series called Mass Effect that I've just now been playing, and it's awesome. So I might spend a few hours playing that.
Instead of watching the Oscars?
Instead of watching
Are you allowed to not watch the Oscars?
Yeah.
Is that okay if you don't? I don't know.
Is it okay?
I don't know.
Is it okay with you?
Who's gonna make it? You?
I don't know. Will you not have FOMO or some sense of professional obligation that would?
The thing is I remember seeing you the first time I ever went to be in the press room for the Oscars and was super excited about it.
We looked spiffy that night.
We did look
that
spiffy.
just came up in my Facebook memories the other day of us that night.
That was super fun. And then the second year was okay. And then after that, I was like, oh, been there, done that. Like, so there's a little bit of like, after you've been there and after you've watched enough of these, it's a little like, I mean, look, like if I was nominated for something, then I'd be excited. Or if I knew someone. But yeah, it's like, I mean, part of the issue too with us, I think professionally, is that we are so focused on the movies that are in theaters now and what's coming up and kind of current stuff. It is oftentimes outside of the idea of prognosticating. I'm not really all that interested in Parasite anymore. Like, yes, it's a terrific movie. Go see it. But like,
you've moved on to
I've
2020.
like professionally, we've had to kind of move on.
Yeah.
And so a little bit, it's like, yeah, okay, I guess, like, again, it's a little bit, kind of, I don't mean so much jaded in a negative way, so much as just like, I'm just not that invested.
Well, and I think from a perspective point of view, we now know that 8 months from now, no one's going to remember who won anything. Like,
Green Book.
You'll be like, who was the...
It's still Green Book, Alonso.
It is still fucking Green Book. Yeah, that's another reason.
But you
why
only
people
remember the
get
ones that are like shocking, right? Like those are the only ones.
Crash.
Right, right, or Moonlight, right? Which
that was a moment.
right,
that was a moment.
But who did they think with?
La La Land.
Right.
That
But it's a moment of like.
That's a moment where like that is the like people who go to car races for the crashes. That's the Oscar moment that you wait for. And now that we've had one in our lifetime, I don't think we're ever going to get
that will
another
never happen again.
Yeah.
It would be fun to be the one presenting the best picture and say, and the award does not go to.
No, my living room went bananas for that Moonlight moment. It was just like, we all screamed and we all like TiVo backward and stuff.
Yes, I think we're going to a friend's house who has a loft downtown. I think one of Chris's coworkers, but I'd like to just like sit on the couch in my jammies and tweet. And not have to talk to people.
Show in your jammies to the party.
Should I just show up in my jammies and my laptop?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Like, I'm at
can
work.
you get
I'm
get some cool pajamas like Ewan McGregor was wearing? Those like pink floral ones
with monogram tweeting gloves.
Yes.
Anyway, so let us know what you guys are looking
forward
to as well.
I have a really cool like smoking jacket kind of robe thing if you want to.
Well, then you should wear that.
That was worn by Billy Zane in some movie.
Oh my.
Titanic.
No, but it's like that kind of era. Like it's like
Phantom
40s. No, it was something like some B movie that he did.
Yeah.
Some romance, but a friend of mine who was a costumer was like, "Hey, you want this robe?" I was like, "Yes."
Billy Zane wore it. It still smells like him.
Dave is making
I wear it
meatballs,
better.
so I'm
good. Okay. All right. Thanks,
Right
guys.
now?
Enjoy Oscar night. Let us know what you hope to see win.
Indeed. Thanks for watching. Do like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us at BeFastAllDay on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Christy, what's coming up on a la carte?
Alex Cohen, who is
Ooh, I like Alex Cohen. She's cool.
Do you know Alex?
Yeah.
How do you know her? From radio?
We did a Wine the Flick.
Yes,
you do. Yes,
that's right. In Burbank. That's right. Good memory. So Alex Cohen was on the radio for a long time with NPR. She was at KPCC. She hosted Take Two on KPCC here in LA for a long time. She is now an anchor, a morning anchor, and a host on Spectrum News 1. She has a show called Inside the Issue. She has her own podcast coming out called SoCal in 17. I have known Alex Cohen longer than anybody else I have had on the show.
Well, all right.
We were 5 years old when we met. And we'll tell that
and
story.
she still talks to you.
Wow.
All right, so tune in.
Cool. All right. Thanks all for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.